Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday live with myself and my amazing partner in crime, Shellin. How's your day been
Hi,
today, Shellin?
everyone.
How's your day been? Well, it's not your day, is it? Because your day's just starting.
It is. It's 9 a.m. on the West Coast in America.
Oh, wow. It's such a different, I quite often speak to people and I say, good morning and it's good evening or vice versa. Everyone from all over the world. So it's great to catch up with everyone. So I think today we're going to do a Q&A on the top 5 things that you would like to do in your Salesforce career. So I think if we start off, ask us any questions in the chat, anything you'd like to know. But if we start off, Shelley, perhaps you want to start off.
Yeah, well, I think one of the elements of supermoms, and certainly Lynn, you and I share this journey, is the desire to find that well-paid, flexible career that allows us to balance, for many of us, children and family and other priorities. But more and more these days, people want to have a life. They want to have adventures and travel and have hobbies. And it's often difficult to do that within the kind of the older school parameters. So finding that flexible, well-paid work is so important. It's a key part of our mission as our organization and just something that people really desire. And I think post-pandemic, many companies are really well established to be able to do that. And we have some really good tips about why you might want to pursue these things and have that flexible, well-paid work, and then some key ways to achieve that and be able to truly live out that different kind of lifestyle that many of us are looking for.
Absolutely. And I think in terms of skills, I think you were going to take that piece and then we can move on to the next 4.
Yes, absolutely. So, most importantly, for most of us at least, is that we need a skill set, a an expertise, a niche that is in demand. And it is something that motivates employers to want your talent, want to be able to hire you and retain you. And if a flexible work schedule and that type of flexibility and high pay, that combination usually requires that in-demand skill and that importance
Absolutely.
of knowing that it's in demand. And when we're selecting it, and I know, Lynn, you and I have talked about a bit of our past journey. As I was making a really significant pivot, I was looking for something that I could stick in for my career in a long window of time. And Salesforce is such a smart niche for many of us. They're expecting 11 million more Salesforce jobs in the ecosystem in the next 3 years. So it's really high demand, but that's, you want high demand and you want it to be something that's expected to remain in high demand for a number of years.
Without a doubt, I think that goes without saying. I think it's so important, like you and I have said. I mean, number 2 on our list of top 5 is community, and I think surrounding yourself by the community that works for you, that will empower you, and also will you'll be empowered by. I think that is so important. I think that in terms of the community side of it, I mean that having someone that is there for you and who will sorry, somebody just walked through the office. The joys of being at home. I was just like, what's happening here? But yeah, no, that's all right.
Flexible work.
Right off. The joys of being, I've got an office at home, and my husband doesn't normally come in when I'm live, but I guess he'd left something on his desk because he's got a desk in the other corner. Anyway, so that's number 2 on our list. So I think, Shelley, what were you going to say about number 3?
Yes. So number 3 is really selecting the ways to get educated and trained in these in-demand skills or especially as you niche down to things that are especially in demand, is finding the right ways to learn, and that combination, and really doing your research about where you choose to spend your money and your time getting educated in the particular niche that you're attracted to. And for many people, they find that it takes some trial and error, making sure to get recommendations and references to find those right places so that you get skilled up in a way that translates into a very positive ROI and being able to do your research.
Absolutely. And I think as well, the another important thing, of course, is exploring career options that align with your personality, your transferable skills, as well as things that excite you, because sometimes you go through life doing the same job. You don't particularly enjoy it. You just turn up day after day because it works for you, because you perhaps know what you're doing, or you think you do. You might be a go-to person, which I was in my previous role, as it happens. And you just roll along day after day, just doing the same thing. And I think finding something that excites you, and of course, we can both vouch for the fact that we are in that Salesforce space, that something new, exciting is happening every day. And I think that is so, so important. Find what you like doing, and then find the job that goes with that.
Yes, absolutely. And advice that I got years ago that has served me well is, if you're not sure what that is, and for a lot of people, we've done jobs or pursued education and we really don't know what we're good at, what we're talented at. Often you can take a look at what people give you compliments about and mention, like, oh, you're so good at this. It seems like it comes so easy. Because sometimes the elements, the tasks, the time, how we want to spend our time, where we lose track of time, is so powerful. And it often is we're really good at it and seems very easy, is because we just have an innate talent. And if you lean into that, it can be much nicer days.
Absolutely. And I think in terms of so you just mentioned about the 11.6 million by 2028, which, as we've said, I mean, it's a huge number. I've just dropped the link into the chat, because if anyone's got any questions, of course, please jump in. But click on that link, and it will explain that to you. So that is quite a useful piece in there as well. I will also drop in the link to both of our calendars, just in case you want to chat, because you might come off of here, or it might be after the conversation and you might think of a question. You can always drop it in the link, because we will also be looking at this afterwards. Or you can book some time with us, because we'd be delighted to help you, and see if something fits with you, because obviously it may do and it may not, and it's just always good to talk, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I really like that you brought up that idea of exploring careers, because especially as we pivot into something new, sometimes what we think something's going to be, or what that career choice is going to be, turns out to be something very different. And I would say in the Salesforce ecosystem, people are generally very generous with their time and their advice. And it's easy to schedule those, 15-minute little informational interviews with people to ask them, what does a week in your life look like? And certain roles can be very different if you're part of a big company team, or you're that, one or two, three people in a smaller organization, to just explore and take advantage of the fact that the community is open and available.
Absolutely. I mean, I said to you before, I went to World Tour, which is something Salesforce do in London every year. And it's the first time I've been, and I've never come across such a supportive, amazing community. Everyone wants to talk to you. It's great.
Yes,
and of course, they have your Supermum swag on as well. And, everybody knows a Supermum if they're in Salesforce.
Yes. And I think that idea of showing up places, talking to people, exploring, and finding this type of a community and a career opportunity is just so flexible within the industry. So within the Salesforce ecosystem, there's so many different types of jobs. There's different companies, different niches, places that you can really take advantage of your transferable skills and your talent. And it may take a little bit to find the right spot, but it's nice to know that there's a wide variety and plenty of opportunity for a career for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, another thing, which I think we had number 5 on our list of top 5s, is social media. I mean, personal branding is huge. And I think, especially, Shellin, because you have a great personal brand, and a lot of people follow you because of that. And I think it's about, anything you do, making sure you shout it from the rooftops, make yourself visible, make sure everyone knows what you're up to. And you're not selling yourself per se, but it's just about letting people know you're there and letting people know what you're all about.
Absolutely. And I have to say, this journey into leveraging social media, creating a brand, was completely foreign to me. I really only used LinkedIn specifically as an online resume, and I really did nothing with it. And because of that, I didn't get much value out of it. And it took being, sort of trapped at home during a pandemic, having made a career shift, but hadn't finished that shift when the pandemic hit. I had little kids at home, and trying to figure out, how am I going to support us? How am I going to complete this pivot and build a community? And I have benefited just so beautifully from investing that time. But I would really encourage everyone to take that opportunity to think about, how do you want to be known? But in terms of that flexible, well-paid, we know the Salesforce is well-paid and can be flexible, right? But not everywhere in Salesforce is flexible. So on LinkedIn, you can really find those companies, search the companies, look at articles that are written about, family friendly. Many in our community are moms, but it doesn't have to be just, parenting flexibility, but find those companies that are known for that. Find leaders who are known for that. Pay attention as you run into somebody online, if they're posting about anything to do with that sort of remote working. There's a lot of pressure right now to bring employees back in. And there's certain leaders who are saying, absolutely not. We are doing a great job with this hybrid or remote workforce. Follow those people so you can really curate the companies and leaders that you would like to work with and for. Because although you can negotiate flexible arrangements in just about any company, it doesn't mean that it's going to be met with a great experience. So the more you can find people and companies that are, flexible and embracing of that, the better.
Okay, we have got a comment. So, hi, Sumitra. I hope I said that right, because I don't know if I did, but hopefully I did. It says, okay. And we've got another one. So the first one says, hello, beautiful ladies. Thank you very much. We'll take that. I love Salesforce ecosystem. I am learning lots of good stuff through video and Trailhead. I am certified Salesforce Advanced Administration. Well done, Administrator, sorry. I am struggling to land my first job in Salesforce. Do you have any suggestions? The first thing I would say is sign up with our recruitment. So I'm going to let Shellin talk while I go away and find the link so that I can add that to the text.
Yes, and I would say absolutely there are a few very specific things. Is making sure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized. And there are a few really specific ways of doing that. But honestly, it's going from top to bottom and making sure that you are showcasing the skills, the examples, the impact in your life. And for some in our community, there's been time where it's parenting, you've been out of paid work. So finding ways to share what you have done in that period of time, if appropriate. Many people have volunteered or done things at the school, but as much as possible that you're listing the skills, that your about section, your headline, those things are optimized. And I would say there's lots of tools for doing that. We can showcase some of ours. There's, many of those, that your resume is also optimized to the best of your ability, that you've taken the opportunity to really network and engage in commenting. So for many people, it's a jump to be like creating content or posting content, and that's really not necessary. You can find other leaders, find companies, comment on their posts. You can take the opportunity to leverage Salesforce Plus, which is, if you're not familiar, it's kind of the version of Netflix for Salesforce. There's a lot of amazing stories and showcasings and leaders and announcements and case studies. You can watch those, and then they make it really easy to post directly to LinkedIn and make sure that your whole presence just radiates Salesforce and the impact that you can have.
I'm just putting some messages in the chat. So we've got someone else that has also put a message in here, and it says, such a good tip, finding leaders who are flexible and what we're looking for. Thank you. So I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, finding what you want and not settling. I always say that to people. If you see a job that doesn't match your requirements, just don't apply for it. It's simple. Just wait until the right thing comes along. I know in the current climate, everyone needs to earn some money. But, maybe do some temping while you find your perfect role. That's what I did, because I wasn't going to settle for something I didn't want to do that didn't match with my skill set. So I decided, me personally, I signed up with Supermums, probably heard it all before, but I did that simply because I wanted to change my career and I wanted to pivot into something that I knew that I would love to do. So absolutely, follow your heart.
And I think being really clear, sometimes I know, Lynn, you and I really have the honor of talking one-on-one to people, and they're very vulnerable and forthcoming. And I would say one of the things that is so helpful is if you can get clear of what does flexible mean to you and what does that look like. So for me, I was only spending time with my children at the end of the day, and it was dinner and the wrapping up the day, and it was not a great experience. And so I found flexible for me was I wanted time in the morning and I wanted time after school. And so I created a schedule that is very early morning. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, and I work for 6 hours on Saturdays.
I do.
And for me, it's like changed my life. And I still work full-time plus, but it's made this quality time, the rhythm of our life, work so much better. So I'd say define flexible for you, and what do you want out of that flexibility and that arrangement? And then the well-paid, right, is very relative, but it's so important to get that range in your mind of what does well-paid mean for you, and then finding the right opportunities that can track towards that. For some of us, we can just do that right away because we have the skills that are in demand. But for many of us, we might have to have a pathway and take one step at a time. But it is very achievable. But it is so clear that what does that look like for you personally, and to work hard to create that.
Absolutely. So I think the moral of today is follow your heart, follow your head, follow your gut, and do what you want to do. And genuinely, I think, as I say, if you watch this later as well, drop any questions in the chat, book some time with us. We'd absolutely love to speak to you. That's what makes our days so great, because we get to speak to people like you. So thank you so much for listening. It's been great again, and we look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday. So over to you, Shannon, and goodbye from me.
Yes. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And please do drop any tips that you have in terms of what has helped you to create flexible work arrangements or those well-paid opportunities. Share some links, give some ideas, and together we can move forward and create a much better environment for all with flexibility and well-paid work.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. It was great again, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.